Welcome back to another episode of the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Wow, hell of a week. Huh? I mean, crazy, like bananas. We've had some monumental things happen. I turned 104 on Thursday. Matt and I and our industry lost a very good friend and an iconic figure in one Mr. Jesse James Robinson. And not to bring the room down, because we have to keep in mind that Jesse wouldn't want the room to come down just because of him. So, welcome to the show. We have a lot to get to. I mean, a lot. I've already given you our personal headlines, but now we've got some other big headlines, huge headlines. Have you traded for a top flight wide receiver today? Have you gone and gotten one yet?
Are they already left to be moved? There's been already a few of them that got dealt.
They got them all.
Yeah.
They got them all. Well, welcome to the show, Mr. Matthew Mazzaracchio of the what is it? Is it the Matt and Mike podcast now? You do live streams now?
Yeah, Saturday nights.
Sliding around behind my back with another man.
But the difference is that I get one of us get to wear pants, which is nice.
Pants are always fun.
Pants are nice. Mike and I, Mike Markovich, a friend of mine from a long time from Pittsburgh. He lives up there now. We were friends down here for over 20 years, and obviously we've maintained that relationship. Good dude, smart guy, another Steeler fan like myself, but he brings the reality to the Steelers, unlike what we've discussed or seen or what you guys always bust my chops for. I don't like reality. I really don't. Yeah. So
I'm dealing with a little bit of a phenomena here. I'm being stretched, and I'm being stretched laterally and horizontally. And we all know that I'm already wide enough as it is. I don't need to be widened anymore.
Yeah, you are definitely horizontally stretched right now.
So, what did you guys cover last night?
We covered everything in the NFL. We talked games. We talked.
Okay, that's all we got to do. Thank you very much. You guys haven't seen that already. We're done. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Good luck with everything.
Mike and I were a lot on the same page. He did his homework this week too, so we came prepared last night. We talked about a lot.
I do homework
about just gameplay and scripts and what we thought about what was happening to this point in the season. And we broke down every game, gave our picks like we normally do. Some DFS action as well. So. We are ready. I am ready for today. Let's hit this.
I'm not ready. Yeah. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for anything.
Are you still stretched and horizontally challenged?
It's this. There's ghosts in the machine. I'm just gonna go on with it. I can't get anything to behave right. We got the stream going. We got the cameras working. I'll sit way back here because I have a really good microphone. I can actually sit way back here and everybody can hear me. I hope. Frank will at least give us a heads up. The sound sucks.
Thanks, Frank.
Oh, wait, I got a text message. We'll see. No, that's not Frank. Oh, hey, well, not like my whole family watches the show. So, on to headlines. Bombastic trades.
Got a few, yeah.
A couple.
Receivers on the move.
Your buddy Aaron Rodgers got his way again.
Yes, he did.
He got his favoritist friend and wide receiver, and they came on the Pat McAfee show. Actually, his normal appearance that he has on the Pat McAfee show, and then mysteriously in the background, all of a sudden appears Davante Adams.
Shocker. Yeah, who saw that coming? It's definitely the Aaron Rodgers show in New York right now. Big game against the Steelers on Sunday night. I haven't changed my stance on the Jets overall. I don't think that they have set themselves up for long-term success.
Losers.
And the biggest reason is because they've got all their chips in Aaron's basket, essentially. Coach gone now, coordinator gone. He's got all his boys around him. I will say this. The Jets and Aaron Rodgers right now, especially Aaron Rodgers, because it seems like when he's happy, he plays better. All right, very temperamental athlete, which is certainly not a shock in today's sports world. But anyway, back to good old Aaron. This is about as good as it's going to get for him at this point, right? I mean, he circled the wagons. All his buddies are in town now. He's got his coach. It's not going to get better than now. So let's see what it looks like. Let's see how they play later on tonight in Pittsburgh. Tough game, tough spot, right? Playing against that Steelers defense. I still think overall it's a house of cards because it's the Jets, right? And we've seen the Jets just miserably fail at everything they've tried to do over the last so many years.
Womp, 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 womp.
So I don't have any confidence in this. Again, maybe short term it is good for the Jets. I looked at their schedule coming up in the next few weeks, and they've got some favorable games. So if they
don't sit here and call the Dolphins a favorable game. I know what you're talking about when you say favorable game.
Favorable game. Games at which, at least through Vegas's eyes, they probably will be favored. So
we will beat you.
And this is the shock. They're favored tonight too in Pittsburgh. I think it's a 2 or 3 point favorite.
Pittsburgh's a
home dog.
A 2 point home dog. I love it.
Yeah.
I gobbled that up, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So again, just that's plenty enough time for the Jets. Let's just see what happens. The biggest takeaway from this, I feel, is that again, Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are in at least outwardly the best situation that they have been in to this point. They've got, think about that tandem now between Wilson and Adams. It's comparably one of the top tandems in football right now in terms of talent.
Well,
but let's see how it all shakes out.
Well, and naturally, because it's attached to a New York team, the New York press, New York sports press immediately started throwing out, teams have called about picking up what's his name, Wilson, and I'm like, who? Name some names. Name some teams. Nope, they got nothing. I love the New York sports press.
There's no reason for them to move.
Wilson's not going to move. Yeah, nowhere.
There's no reason.
I mean, literally for the next 2 years, they don't have to make decision one about that dude.
Yeah, that's
it is. They can sit back and go before camp. Where are you? Fine. You're under contract. You're locked in.
Wilson unanimously coming into the season was regarded as a top 10 receiver. Okay, easily. As a very young player. So just because the arrival of Adams comes in, New York, it doesn't make him less of a player again. And if anything, the Jets, like you said, because of contracts, they have him for the next 2 years. The moving pieces are not Garrett Wilson. It's everything else they're bringing in around him. It's Adams on a 1-year deal. Is that what they got him for anyway? I don't even know.
He's got him for the rest of his contract. The contract he signed with the Raiders still got 2 more years left on the deal. Okay. So he's going to be there for a minute.
Okay. Again, as long as Aaron Rodgers stays.
Yeah, as long as Aaron Rodgers is
and
there.
As long as that system stays in place. But I don't have any faith in that. Garrett Wilson's staying in New York. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, well, okay. But I was saying there was just wild speculation because it's all clickbait. The New York sports press specializes in clickbait. What if this? What if that? Hey, there could be this speculation about this. And it's like, can you tell us something factual? Here's a fact for you. The Buffalo Bills weren't going to sit by quietly and let that happen. I don't know whether they made an offer for Adams. I don't know whether they were in on that at all. But then all of a sudden, almost like immediately, like an hour later, they made a trade for Amari Cooper.
Which is huge.
The last guy, I had right over my head. I had no clue they were going to move Amari Cooper.
Here's a guy that at one point was a top 10 receiver. He may be not that quite talented at this point now, been in the league a little bit. He's still an awesome receiver. But the thing what this does for them is I went and looked at Buffalo's third down conversion rate. Right. And they were 26th in the league this year at third down conversions. Yeah, that's a big stat. You want to kind of stay on the field, especially in times when you're trying to give your defense a break. Obviously,
big body, precise route runner, still got a little speed to him too.
What this does is it allows Shakir to go back into the slot. And that's
And
primarily
just run fast.
what he does. So it really gives another dynamic to that offense, and certainly helps Josh Allen and Buffalo, who I thought were already, one of the top probably 2 or 3 teams in the AFC. I put them alongside now with, in terms of talent offensively, and with Baltimore, because I think now weapon-wise, they've got the tight end in Kincaid, they've got a strong running game with Cook, obviously Josh Allen at the quarterback, and now they've got 2 receivers that they can line up with and feel pretty confident about.
This face isn't because I'm disagreeing with you.
It's a Buffalo face.
It's the face that I am agreeing with you. It's
I know.
And the intangibles, of having Amari Cooper on the team, going to show a similar wide receiver that they drafted this year, Keon Coleman, a big body, a fast kid, a high point guy, going to give him a mentor. Nah. Blech.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it when the Jets make good moves. I don't like it when the Bills make good moves. I don't like it when the Patriots make good moves. And
And he's a smart player, too. I mean, everything you hear about him, he's a team player. He's a smart player.
Yeah,
Spent almost his whole career in the AFC,
Yeah,
like Buffalo, and that's going to help them as well. So,
And the Raiders, don't forget the Raiders. He
Yeah.
was with the Raiders before he got
that's what I'm saying.
before he got
So
traded.
familiarity, he's been in that conference. He knows all those teams. Again, just another smart voice in the room, and that's a big win for Buffalo. So I know.
So
Quick update. Still 22-10 Jacksonville over the Patriots. Jacksonville is driving. It didn't look good early in that game when the Patriots were up 10-0. We both were saying that they're going to send Peterson home on a boat. Like, he's not even going to get he's not getting on the plane.
'Cause I jumped on a parlay. It was all heavy Patriots, Demario Douglas, Drake May, and they may still statistically hit what I've said, but I grabbed that 6.5 points. I was like, woohoo, 6.5. It's still early.
Yeah.
Things could change. Things could shift.
Yeah, but like I said, Jacksonville, I guess they went to halftime, and the coach was like, guys, he's like, please. He's like,
I want to be able to come back to America.
He's like, I don't have any drive. I mean, I get seasick. I need to get on this plane. Can you please at least score some points? And I think that's what's
for your
happening.
old coach.
Yeah, win-win for the Gipper. So, and it seems to be that they are. And it's 22-10.
Bleh.
They're driving as well. They're
Quit
inside.
costing me money.
They're in the red zone. So,
Boo.
yeah. Okay, so we got some 1 o'clock games to discuss. You want to pop a little quick break, come back, and we'll talk some football?
Oh, look at you trying to direct my show.
Yeah.
What you mean?
That's up to you.
Probably, so you're what? You run things now? Is that
I'm
what you're
just
trying to
saying
say?
we are a team, and we are ready to go.
Yeah. You couldn't get your friend Mike on here to double team against me and team up and gang up on me.
Mike's a smart guy. I wish he could
Yeah,
have joined us.
we tried to bring him on, but
yeah.
Google's having issues. We streamed out, so I guess we'll be all right. But all right, quick break, and we'll come back and we'll start running down the slate, which means you can only talk for 10 seconds per point spread per prediction. 10 seconds.
That's it.
You're on a clock.
Let's go.
We live a pie on our day. We live a pie on our day.
Yes.
What in there?
We better get going. God knows what the team is doing with just Farmer Fran watching them.
The hombre de tan va a bouger on the ville, quoi va wrong, y réfléchissez on va bouger d'ailleurs.
Gonzo Radio. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Wow. Yeah, we were just going down the whole slate and lineup. Did Jacksonville score? I hope they didn't.
They are inside the 5.
Oh, boo, boo, bleh.
Dearness Johnson, left end.
Yeah, Durnest.
Which, by the way, in some of my notes, because I did note this game as well, I got Dearness Johnson last week had a 56% snap share, was his largest last week.
Oh, yeah.
And they are going to be settling for a field goal here. But it looks like Dearness Johnson is getting some opportunities today.
I got my Tank Bigsby touchdown. That's all I wanted.
That's something to look for.
That's all I wanted was Tank Bigsby anytime touchdown. Check that off.
Bigsby 11 for 54 and a touchdown.
Wow.
Dearness Johnson has 4 carries so far. But Dearness Johnson has 3 catches for 32 yards.
Well, there you go.
That's a
Why didn't we take the 2.5 catches over?
Smart flex play on him. Okay.
All right.
Rock and roll.
Ready to go?
Let's go.
What are you going to start with?
Let's go with the Seahawks and the Falcons. Falcons -3. 51 is the spread. Here's some notes. Both teams giving up less than 200 yards in the air. Okay, I didn't expect to see that stat. I figured these were, again, I know they were decent.
Atlanta
defenses.
shelled out a lot in the last 2 years to shore up that defensive secondary.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, both quarterbacks inside
they
the
get
top.
their money's worth.
Both quarterbacks inside the top 10 QBR, so obviously both guys are playing well, Geno and Kirk. Kirk had that monster game a few weeks ago.
Give me Geno in the over.
What I stumbled onto, and again, I'm always looking for information. Again, there's so much out there that we could use to help, get what we think is going to happen. But
7 seconds.
I'm logged on to wide receiver versus cornerback matchups. And I just went through and I just got the top 20 guys. And I'm thinking, well, these guys are in plus matchups. Let's find spots to use them today. And I can tell you that Drake London is number 8 overall. And in that same game, Tyler Lockett is number 20. All the Seattle receivers, even though the yardage types are a little bit low, they still have somewhat favorable matchups. So maybe one of them goes, maybe 2 of them go. But of those 2 guys, I like London in that game, and I like Tyler Lockett. It's advantage over corner. I'm going to call it the AOC stat, which I'm sure you'll get a kick out of. So in this spot,
She's hot.
the home team is laying 3. It's the Falcons. Little concerned, maybe so much about that Seattle consistency. They are running a ton of plays. And that's another stat that I pulled up on. They're second this year in terms of total number of plays. Wait till I tell you later on who's running the least amount of plays this year. Very interesting.
All right, so
Falcons -3.
Falcons -3.
I'm taking the home team here. Falcons -3.
I like the Falcons -3. Let me throw a little brew on that.
Hey, we got a
we
brew.
swept that. Yeah, we swept that one real good. Okay, swept that one right under the rug. Next.
We got the Titans and the Bills.
The
segue.
Tetons.
Remember I mentioned about teams running the most plays, not running the most plays. Guess what team has run the least amount of plays this year?
The Bills.
The Bills. I thought that was very ironic.
Right. I think they also lead the league in chunk plays and big plays over 20 yards.
Well, I have the top 3 teams
And I
that
hate 'em
are
for it.
the top 3 teams are Texans, Baltimore, and Philly in terms of big play explosiveness. I
Right.
have that stat. So that being said, it's about opportunity. You got to run plays to score points, right?
Yep.
So if you're not running as many plays as the next guy, you're already a little bit behind the 8 ball. So when you're looking at obviously fantasy production from Buffalo, you want to consider that. In this spot, 8.5 points. Buffalo is a home favorite. Bills are giving up 350 yards a game on defense. So get this straight. Not running a lot of plays, giving up a lot of yards. Pollard has gotten 21 touches for the last 3 games, regardless of game script.
They're killing it.
And Tennessee's only won 1 of those games. You know what that tells me? Tennessee knows who they are. Tennessee's going to come out today. They're going to try and run the ball on Buffalo. And I think to a degree, as long as they don't get knocked out of the building in the first quarter, this game stays competitive. I would not want to be sitting with Buffalo in an elimination pool this week. Just saying. So I'm taking the Titans on the road plus the 8.5. And I will say one more thing about this because we'll allude to it later. My DraftKings algorithms, when they show you those red numbers and the green numbers. Red numbers are bad, green numbers are good. They're matchups, okay? Guess what? All the receivers for Buffalo in this spot are red. Don't like it. Don't like it. It smells. Buffalo's looking
But
ahead.
Amari Cooper.
Buffalo looking ahead next week to Seattle. Maybe this could be one of those trap games, home games. I like Tennessee to get inside the number here, plus the 8.5.
I'm going to go with Buffalo laying those points. I believe that Amari Cooper will shake things up. There's a blanket effect when you get a player of his caliber. I'm not saying that he's a world beater. I'm not even saying he's anywhere near as good as Devontae Adams. But when you get Amari Cooper in the building, Amari Cooper's skill set makes it, like you said, easier for other players to do what they do best, whether it be Shakir or whether it's the Rook or whether it's the backs catching passes like Cook's catching passes out of the backfield, because you have to pay attention to Amari Cooper, because if you do not, he's going to kill you.
I like it long term. I mean, like we mentioned, I think the Cooper thing is huge.
Well, no,
for
I
Buffalo.
think there's going to be an effect this time, and
We'll see.
believe me, I hate these guys. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. But I'm well grounded in reality. So the Bills by 10, maybe Bills by 13. I think that they're gonna come and blow them out in the first half, and then hang on. And I'm gonna depend on Will Levis to find a way to throw some interceptions.
Will Levis is not playing today.
Oh.
It is Mason Duck Rudolph
The Duck.
is getting the start.
Quack quack. I'm sticking to my guns.
And from that perspective, again, we talked about this last night, Mike and I just figure he's going to come in and not turn the ball over. He's just going to, again, Pollard.
That's
Pollard,
what he
Pollard,
does.
Pollard. So, all right, next game, the Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati. Cincinnati 5.5 points, 41.5 is a total. The Browns this year are the only team to not score 20 points in a game.
I believe it.
Not great, right? We all know that the Deshaun Watson saga, we've been beating it now for a year. He's 5 touchdowns in 6 games.
Washed.
I will say this for Cleveland. Chubb is back this week. And
Yeah, but how great is he going to be?
this was what I said last night. The only thing that I want to take from this game is that Chubb is 100% healthy and ready to play. Because, number one, unless he is 100% healthy and ready to play, there's no reason to put him in this game. The Browns are going nowhere. Their offensive line is terrible. Their team is terrible. Their franchise guy is Chubb, okay? You don't put him in a situation out there just because you can. You put him out there because he's able to, okay? There's a big difference. You're not trying to win games at this point. So what I want to see is him healthy, him not touch the ball 25 times this game, and them beat him into the ground game 1 back. And the Browns just fade into existence and let Chubb develop as the season progresses. More importantly, because I have him in one of my best ball leagues. But that aside, it's important.
The altruism is just dripping off
whatever.
of you.
So, okay, now let's go to the other side. Okay, more importantly, the Bengals, it's a shame Joe Burrow can't play defense because their defense is really bad, despite him being really good.
He was recruited as a linebacker.
He may want to play both sides of the ball. He's just doing what Joe does. He's second in QBR this year, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's on pace again to hit 3 receivers with over 100 targets, which was why I had the man crush on him when he first came into the league. The guy he is one of the top 2-3 quarterbacks in football and will be that way forever as long as they can keep him upright
As
and
long as his body holds up.
allow him to play. Yeah. Okay.
In other words, Joe Namath.
That being said, Chase Brown, I think, is a very, very good DFS play today. Last week was the first week he went over 60% snap share. He clearly is the better talent back there, and I just see game script where he's going to play well. I got the Bengals minus 5.5.
Stop right there. First of all, I agree. So sweep it. Second of all, a business decision is going to be made. It's as simple as that. Chubb is coming back because he has been voted the most popular Browns player. He loves the city of Cleveland. He feels a responsibility. But he will also admit that I'm not going to come back unless I'm 100%. That being said, if his contribution, if his return does not yield immediate results, i.e., beat the Bengals, go on a 3-game heater, get back in the playoff picture, then he is going to be on a pitch count. He is not going to be workhorsed, and he's going to make a business decision for him to be able to complete his contract extension and possibly get another contract. He's got maybe, what's it, his 5th year, 6th year now? He's got maybe 2-3 more good years left if he recovers from this latest 4th knee surgery since college. Okay, so we're talking about a guy who's got a lot of miles as far as running backs are concerned. Okay, the clock
Yeah, the chips are mounted
There's
against
not a lot
him
of
at
sand
this
in that
point.
hourglass, okay?
So, like I said, I just don't see why he's back.
We're going
at
to
this
see a
point.
4-game sample.
I guess.
Okay, the 4-game sample will be: do we win 3 out of 4 because Chubb is here? Is his contribution going to make us better? Going to make us succeed? If so, then he will continue. If not, pitch count. All of a sudden, you'll see Deontay Foreman is going to get 10, 12, 14 carries. And there's going to split the snaps between them because you're not going to wear that guy out. If I were the owner, if I was Shad Khan, I'd be like, listen, don't break my running back. Why? Because out of all you people here, I'll get rid of the whole team and keep Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
The whole team. I'll get rid of all of you and I'll keep Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Well,
so
last week it was Foreman and Pierre Strong that were
Right.
sharing the duties, but
and they lost.
obviously
And they suck.
they're a bad football
I know.
team.
Okay, so
So
next,
you're on the Bengals as well in that
I'm
spot?
on the Bengals too.
All right. Good one here, boy. Texas at Green Bay. Texans
Ooh.
at Green Bay. Green Bay is a 2.5-point home favorite. Total 48.5. You know, what we do is all about fantasy. And it's tough when we blur the lines between, oh, he's good for the team. Oh, he's not good for your fantasy team. I like to push everything in the fantasy direction. So let me just show you some Jacobs stat. Man's having a great year, right? He's 5th in yards this year in the NFL. But he's 22nd in fantasy points. Okay.
Because he's not getting in the end zone.
He's got 1 touchdown this year. And he's not catching
One.
the ball as much as he should. Although the last 3 weeks, 3 catches, all on 4 targets. I have a prop bet today with Mr. Jacobs. Over 14.5 yards. He's gone over 21 yards the last 3 games. I like that today.
I like it too.
What bothered me on the Green Bay side in this game is that when you look at their yardage props, and again, let Vegas do the work for you, they don't have a guy over 55 total receiving yards. That's it. He's splitting it up between 9 different guys. You got Reed, you got Kraft, you got Dobbs, you got the running backs, you got whoever else he finds off the bench. His yardage prop, Jordan Love, that is I think 250-something yards. It's 5 yards behind, what's his name, Stroud on the other side. Yeah, they're pretty close. But again, you got Jordan Love that's going to have to spread it around. Let's go green-red. Everything on the throwing side for for Green Bay against Houston is red. It's a tough matchup, I think, on the Green Bay side. And I just think that everybody is considering Love this great quarterback, and he's played well at times. And last week he played well again. He again quieted some doubters. But I like Houston in this spot. I just think talent-wise, weapon-wise, I don't know. I just have a feeling about this game in Houston being the team that now that they've arrived, okay, we think they are, we know who they are. I like Houston. Give me the points on the road plus the 2.5.
And Houston to win outright?
I'm getting points. I'll take it. Mixon's back this week. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and he's been really good. We mentioned explosive plays. Houston's 3rd in the league on that. Now there's no Collins. That may take a little bit of a hit because he certainly was that deep guy. I don't know. I mean, for me, I think Houston is slightly better in this spot. I'll go Houston plus 2.5.
Well, I'm going to have to go with that home team. I'm going to have to go with the Packers at Lambeau on a bright sunny day, nice and cool out, up against a dome team. Houston's a dome team, right? They're domed over there in Houston.
Yeah, it's in Green Bay, though.
Yeah,
but
so it's
nice
in Green Bay. It's nice and cool out. It's a crisp autumn afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that the ghosts come out. I think that they cover that too. They'll win by a field goal. Lots of points to be scored. What's the line?
2.5.
No, I mean, excuse me. What's the over under?
48.5.
48.5.
48.5.
Give me the over.
Nice.
And give me the Packers.
Okay, Dolphins, Colts.
Dolphins, next.
-3, 43.5. How about the Colts are 5-1 versus the spread this year?
I'll take Dolphins +3. Go ahead.
H ain't healthy, right?
Yep.
And Mostert.
That's why, actually.
Mostert healthy.
Yes.
Colts 31st versus the run.
Yep.
Guess what the Dolphins are going to try and do today?
What did they do last week?
Run the ball.
And they did it against one of the best run defenses in the NFL.
Now, I will say this. I picked up something on that Dolphins
2 weeks ago,
secondary.
excuse me.
When we look at separation stats, okay, in terms of receivers and getting separation from the secondary, the Dolphins are the worst in the league in terms of giving up wide receiver separation. Now, Josh Downs, he is questionable today. I think he may even be a game-time decision. He ranks number 2 overall in the ability to get separation.
Right.
Guess what is a bad matchup for the Dolphins today? Josh Downs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Richardson is starting. That's good for the Dolphins, okay, in terms of throwing the football.
Cam Newton 2.0.
Yeah. Again, I'm torn between two teams right now that are really struggling. I feel like the Dolphins are holding on for dear life until Tua gets back. They may be able to do it in this spot, but I'm still going to take the home team here, minus the 3 points. I just don't think the Dolphins, if things have to go their way for them to win this game. So I don't think they will. I'll take the Colts minus the 3.
Okay, so here we go. Big time Dolphin homer. Hello. Which, by the way, if anybody wants me to get me one of those black Crucial Catch T-shirts, I would love one of those. I'll take that in a 3XLT, 3X large tall. But here's some of my reasons why the Dolphins are going to go against Tide. First of all, they're coming off a bye. The big problem with giving up those big separation pass plays has been in the Weaver system. There has to be coordination between the safeties and the outer DBs, the corners. There has to be coordination. There has to be communication. And every one of those plays has been a communication breakdown. Teams have, of course, they've seen that, and they've tried to take advantage of that to cause, deking to go this way and that guy goes that way, disguising your plays so that, the safety bites or the safety doesn't bite. I think they clean that up. I think they clean it up because it's been vitally important for Javon Holland, who has a broken bone in his wrist, but it's been vitally important for him to be at practice, for him to play, to be active today, to work through that injury, because I think that they've been working on the communication. We've seen that in the last couple of weeks. They've worked on the communication. You're still getting gash plays. You're still getting some of the slot receivers are getting off, especially over the middle. But I think it's a matter of communication. It's definitely not a matter of personnel.
Okay.
Nick Needham, I know everybody's like, who, whatever. Dolphin fans know who Nick Needham is. Nick Needham is an above-average slot corner. So I think we're going to maybe clean up a little bit of that over-the-middle stuff. Hopefully he is, not rusty. He's been practicing for 2 weeks. He's coming off of the physically unable to perform list, not the IR, so he doesn't count on one of the activations. And I think that the Dolphins clean up their defensive issues today. I think that they run, and run some more. I think that you will see a little more success in the downfield passing game as Tyler Huntley has gotten more comfortable every week, and now he's had 2 weeks. The brain trust. This is it, Dolphins. You have had your opportunity to catch your breath. Okay, you went 1-2 while Tua was gone. You've had an opportunity to catch your breath. You've got your quarterback comfortable. Everybody's starting to get on the same page here.
I guess you're taking the Dolphins?
Yeah, give me the 3 points.
Okay, you got them. You know what? I'm going to give you 3.5 just because you
3.5.
That
okay,
rant was so important.
I'll take it.
Okay, you got them. 3.5
so even
points.
if we win by a field goal,
I'll take it.
Okay then.
Lions Vikings. Wow, who thought? The Vikings are perfect against the spread this year.
Yep.
How about that? 5-0 versus the spread. They're also 5-0.
Not that I bet them big against the spread or anything.
Minus a 1.5 at home, which is telling you that the Lions are a better football team overall. But the Hutchinson loss, man, that is going to be tough, right?
That's where my money is.
Their defense back end was already not great, and what helped them hide not great was a really good pass rush. And now guess
really
what?
Really good pass rusher.
Yeah, they don't have that guy anymore. And to me, that is going to hurt them on the backside even more. Now, that being said, defensively for the Vikings, they obviously blitz a ton. Right? I mean, this is what they are.
From all over the field.
52% of the time they scheme up these blitz packages. It's the most in football. I will say that Jared Goff, over the last 2 games against the blitz, was 17 of 18 for 380 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there is many quarterbacks. It's a short list of old-style pocket quarterbacks that if you give him 3 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to just tear you apart. Right, that's Jared Goff. He is, to me, a top 5 guy. He's a guy that you could very easily say, okay, let's pick our quarterbacks. Let's start our franchise. I got a really good offensive line and a weapon or two. Who you picking? I'll take Jared because that guy can sling the rock, right? We talked about with him also these home road splits. That's sort of kind of closing a bit. Coming into last year, he struggled on the road. There was a definite advantage home road, but he's been a little bit better of late. Put it all together, guys. I don't know. It's a really good game. I'm leaning the home team here. There's a path for the Vikings to really starting the season 8-0, 9-0, 10-0. Look at their schedule coming up.
Right.
They win this game, they're in a great spot. I'm taking the Vikings at home here, laying the 1.5. I think this game stays close to the vest. I don't see a real advantage on either side, really. And I just think the home team's going to pull this one out. Really good divisional game. Give me the Vikings at home minus the 1.5.
Lions are hurting. Most definitely hurting. I think the loss of Hutchinson hurts them, like you said, both on the back end and in the pass rush. If the Lions were smart, they would be the ones buying at the trade deadline, going out and picking up a considerable edge player of some sort. Going to need somebody. Going to need that heat coming from that position. You can't just miss that heat. You just can't drop the temperature 50 degrees and expect to go on. I definitely believe in the fact that the Vikings are more of a complete team. Yeah, more of a complete team. Definite defensive advantage. If Darnold can keep the turnovers to a minimum, we don't expect him to play clean. We don't. We're not that dumb. So, yeah, give me we'll sweep it. We'll throw out the boom. Yeah,
mini broom. I like
all the reasons you just said.
Eagles Giants.
What about them? What about them?
Eagles, a 3-point road favorite against the Giants. Divisional game. The obvious story.
It's a trap.
Here is Barkley coming back to.
It's a trap.
He probably had that Sharpie. The moment he got traded, looked ahead to the schedule once it was released and went, oh, guess what? We get the Giants on the 20th of October. Here we come. Barkley's going to be a little pumped for this game. I will say this. The Giants allow 0.9 rush yards before contact. That's fourth best. But they're averaging 5.5 yards a carry as a team. You know what that tells me? If they get you at the line, they got you. You get second level, goodbye. And Barkley has that ability to go goodbye. I'm worried in this game, overall in terms of just the 3-point spread. It seems like the Giants, they've been hearing it too. They've been hearing about Barkley and coming back and everything. You know what? Let's keep it short. I'm on the Giants. I do think that there's a little bit of a story in that division where you're looking up and you're seeing Washington now in first and the Giants in second. And then you got the Cowboys and the Eagles in third and fourth. So
let me chime in about your El Gigantes. El Gigantes de Nueva York. Brian Burns has been the difference maker. They went out, they got him, they made the big trade for him. Middle linebacker Brian Burns. Superstar. He has been the difference maker for that defense. And as the rest of the defense kind of keys in and tries to raise their level around him, along with him and Dexter Lawrence, you're seeing massive improvements. All these numbers that you're seeing about making it to the second level, all right, those were the first 2 games. Check your last 3 games, they've been killing it. They've been stuffing people. So I think that the Giants defense has got their legs under them. That's still not going to stop Barkley from scoring, but you're getting 3 points? You're a home dog? You're getting 3 points?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Giants. Give me the 3 points.
Giants are angry.
Okay, give me the 3 points. Give me an outright win with, let's say, a field goal. It's a tight game. Everybody scores in the 20s. What's the over-under?
42 and a half.
42 and a half. Ooh, that could even go over.
Just some quick notes on that game.
24-21.
The wide receiver cornerback matchups that I talked about, A.J. Brown has the best matchup this week.
Sure.
Versus, Deontay Banks on the other side.
Sure.
It's a massive advantage.
Sure.
He's ranked 1. Malik Neighbors is ranked 5. He's going up against Quinyon Mitchell on the other side for the Eagles, who's also not very good.
And can we admit that Darius Slay might be washed?
There's some issues on that back
Wash.
end. Yeah. So you got 2 of the top 5 matchups this week in this game on both sides. The point total I do like. Remember when I said how Buffalo runs the least amount of plays in the league?
Yeah.
What team do you think runs the most?
Philly.
The Giants.
The Giants
Run the most plays in the league. I did not. If you had asked me that, if you had said, I'm going to give you 14 guesses, I would have had the Giants at 18. I wouldn't have had them at number 1. The Giants run the most plays in the league. Give me the Giants today at home. I'll take them.
So we're both on the Giants.
We're both on Giants.
Woohoo!
May I
Broom,
see?
here, you can use the broom. Woohoo! Don't get weird with my. Oh God! Now I got to have it washed.
All right.
Next.
Raiders, Rams. The Rams are at home if they have a home field. -7 against the Raiders.
Is Cooper Kupp playing today?
He is supposed to play today.
Is he activated?
He's activated, according to Mr. Markovich yesterday.
Ramsity Rams.
Well, let's be careful.
I ain't gonna be careful.
The Rams are last in terms of zone coverage, yards allowed for the receivers. Guess which receiver on the Rams, receiver/tight end, has the most receptions in all of football versus zone coverage? Brock Bowers, 32.
Brock Bowers.
Guess.
Wait, you have to say it right. You have to say it.
Brock.
Brock.
Yeah, Brock. So
Bowers, there's like 4 R's in there. Brock.
is my face crooked or my glasses crooked?
You're crooked.
So Brock Bowers, number 1 in total catches, 32 versus the zone. That's pretty good, right?
God, I hope so.
7
I have him on one of
points
my league teams.
is a lot of points in this league. And the Rams are a decent football team. We know they've had injuries early. They certainly have all the advantages in this game.
They got one of their offensive linemen back too.
This is another game where when you look at McVay and how he game plans, they should dominate the first half of this game because he's going to go do this, do that, and the Raiders are going to be like, oh my God, what do I do? And they're not good enough offensively to keep up outside of Bowers. So if this game gets out of hand early, then I think the Rams will cover this spread. But what I'm saying is I see a backdoor cover. Because the Rams are struggling on their defensive side of the ball. Their defense is also very bad. And I think the Raiders will continue to grow a little bit offensively, and they're buying into the coach, and Bowers is just so good. I'm going to flop. Originally, I liked the Rams -7. Give me the dog. I'm taking the Raiders to get inside this cover, plus the 7.
Ooh. All right. So, you know how I believe that Sean McVay is quite possibly the smartest head coach in the NFL. With
on Sundays.
With the exception of, with deference to Mike McDaniel, who I think is, a super nerd. I think that McVay not only is the smartest head coach in the NFL, but I think he's the most adaptable. I think he's a guy who gets the most out of his team, no matter what it is. He's one of those. He's almost in the Don Shula vein. Okay, where, Bum Phillips used to say, well, he could take his'n and beat urine and urine and beat his'n. Well, I think that Sean McVay can, he can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. He really can. That being said, give me the Rams -7.
Ooh.
I think that they run the Raiders out of the building. So hold that.
Okay. Fortunately, they could just take the highway and go home. It's not too far away.
Not the 401, man. Traffic's terrible.
Yeah, it is bad. Preview of the Super Bowl. People had said
Get out of here.
coming into the year.
Last year's Super Bowl?
No, I'm not saying
Boring.
I don't agree. At least not right now.
Neither do I.
But
so there's sweep. Here's a sweep. We agree that it's not going to be the repeat of the Super Bowl. Sweep
it.
So screw that.
Chiefs 49ers.
Give me it back, Mike.
The line in this game is San Francisco is a home dog by 2, which again is telling me that they think Kansas City overall is a better team. Now, I think if you go on track record, I think if you go on the quarterback position and probably the coach as well, yeah, they have the advantage. But the Chiefs, again, like last year, they just look vulnerable. Now, they're the most vulnerable 5-0 team I think I've ever seen in the history of any sport, right? They lose players. Rice got hurt. Pacheco is hurt. And what do? They just beat you, right? They find a way and
they come back at you with retreads.
And they beat you, yeah. Schuster a couple of weeks ago, monster Monday night game. I think it was a Monday or Sunday night game, monster game.
They brought back Kareem
Kareem
Hunt.
Hunt should feast. Now, Kareem Hunt's not even a good football player, but it doesn't matter because it's about opportunity and it's about matchup.
Hide your drunk club rats because they're not safe around him.
That being said, Mahomes, his last 4 games, has had a pick in each game.
Yep.
Very un-Mahomes-like.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to and watch a lot of the stuff during the week, as we've talked about. And Greg Cosell picked up on some great film stuff about Mahomes. And the one thing that he's consistently seeing this year so far is his inability to get through the first and second reads. It's just because it's a sense of just being not comfortable. He again looks like he's just not confident in the ability and the play calling and the way they're running the offense and in his receivers. And it just seems like a few of his decisions are based more on haste than typical Mahomes maneuver, adjust, and then make a play. That can only go on for so long before teams like the Niners, who can take advantage of that, because the Niners are a very good football team on the same playing field, certainly, as the Chiefs are. The Niners defense today, I think there's blood in the water. I really do. I just think that if the Niners get up in this game and they force Mahomes to get off script, I just don't see a path today where the Chiefs are going to, this today is the one game where people are going to look and go, wow, the Chiefs, they got brought back to earth. I think this is a bring back to earth game for the Chiefs. I got the Niners at home. I think the 2 points, obviously it's a fair spread.
You think the Niners are going to win it outright?
It's disrespectful. This is, to me, it's a 7 to 10 point win. I'm taking the Niners convincingly at home over the Chiefs today.
All right. Now, you quote Mike Lombardi, which we see him on the Pat McAfee Show. Shout out to our friends at the Pat McAfee Show. Thank you very much for tolerating our little live stream link on your Facebook group. Appreciate the love. Hopefully anybody's watching. But I also take Mr. Chuck Pagano, former head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Mr. Pagano, Coach Pagano, has said that teams are disguising more coverages, especially underneath, because they're not afraid of Worthy over the top. They're not afraid of anybody over the top. They're disguising their coverages underneath, which is also taking away Travis Kelce a lot. And they're blitzing, exotic blitzes, designed to get in Mahomes' face. You're going to see this until it doesn't work. And it's especially designed to slow down the Mahomes, like you said, can't get through the first couple of progressions. Well, if you make his first couple of progressions hard, and not necessarily impossible, just hard, you have to make him uncomfortable. And now it's working. It's been happening the last couple of years. Last year, they muddled through. Okay, the strange thing that's happened in Kansas City is they shored that defense up. That defense, even though they let L'Jarius Sneed go, they traded him away to the Titans. They still got better. They kept McDuffie. They drafted more DBs, and they got better. That defense got better. That defense carried them to the Super Bowl last year, no matter what anybody else wants to tell you.
Oh, that's the truth. We talked about
it. Carried them to the Super Bowl last year, and they're going to carry them through this game too. So give me the Chiefs. Go into the no longer Candlestick Park. Go into San Francisco and disrupt the cable cars and knock the seals off the pier and steal a win and run away. Ha ha ha.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Ravens Bucks. Baltimore 3.5 road favorite. Totals 49.5. Man, it seems like we just keep picking against the Bucks, and the Bucks just keep
kicking our ass,
putting their middle finger up at us, right? Bucks are 4-2. If they win this game, they're still in first within their division. The Ravens look good, like they normally do. We've talked about
struggling
because I'm all these numbers and stats are in my head.
You're struggling.
Like for instance, the Lamar Jackson stat where he has one career loss against the NFC. One out of 27, 28 starts, he has one loss.
Okay.
That's a pretty big number. I'm on the side of the 28.
Okay.
But the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, man, if any team knows who they are right now, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? They line you up 3 receiver sets very consistently. Godwin, Mike Evans. I know White was hurt last week. Bucky Irvin stepped in. This other kid stepped in, probably the biggest waiver wire pick this week. What was the kid's name? Ran for 100 yards last week. Turner.
And he's not going to do it again for the rest of the year.
But again, it's like plugging. It's like just you get a hole, you plug it. And this is what Tampa's been doing. Tough spot for the Ravens on the road in this spot. It's also, I'm looking at the weather. It's 82 degrees. It's a lovely balmy day here in Florida.
Balmy.
I do like the Ravens to win this game, but 3.5 points. I'm going to take the hook and the 3.5 points.
The hook.
I like Tampa at home. Give me the hook. 3.5 points. Good game, though. Really good game. Oh, the brooms are out today. You like Tampa?
Acknowledge the Baker Mayfield effect.
I should have known because.
Acknowledge.
Are you wearing your Baker socks again? No, you're not. Good thing.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
The Baker Mayfield effect. Let me tell you something about Baker Mayfield, okay? And I pray, okay? I'm looking 2 years down the road, okay? I'm looking past 2025, okay? Because Mayfield is locked up until at least 2025 in Tampa Bay. And he's still young. I mean, we're talking year 6 for him now?
Yeah.
7?
Yeah, he'll be 30 when the contract expires.
There's one place that I hope he doesn't go. Because A, it's a place that they ruin quarterbacks. B, because he's Baker friggin' Mayfield.
Don't say the Jets.
The Jets.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
Ugh. Why would that even
Ugh.
happen? Listen,
I don't want that.
Tampa will resign him.
Good.
Yeah, they'll resign him. He's a great
Hell, I would even be happy. I would be even happier if, let's say, for some strange reason, things don't work out with Tua. The Dolphins sign him to a free agent contract. But don't go to the Jets. They're going to ruin you.
Nobody wants to go to the Jets.
I understand that, but still, yeah.
Good game, though. Should be a really good game. You've got fantasy pieces in that one. You're probably hanging on for the ride.
Mike Evans is going to play.
Yeah. You know, Chris Godwin, 43 catches for 511 yards so far this year.
Yep.
I think that's number
Target
one.
monster.
Number one in the NFC.
Target monster. And we were 100% right, by the way, about Mike Evans last week against New Orleans. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Platypus.
Tough
DJ
time.
Platypus
Yeah.
from world famous Tootsie's Cabaret. He listened to me, I hope. Did you?
Yeah.
Because Evans dropped what? 4 points? 3.4 points?
Yeah.
He was horrible. He was terrible. And he got hurt.
Tough matchup. Yeah.
He was so bad they took Lattimore off of him. They still stuffed him.
Yeah. Godwin had a big game last week, though. Still.
Yep. Huge.
2 more, guys. Chargers at the Cardinals. Are we done with Kyler Murray? I'm not done in a sense, but are we not going to continue to try and put him up into the upper echelon of quarterbacks? The guy's small. He can't hold a Big Mac.
All right.
If I want my quarterback,
he can't hold a Big Mac.
my quarterback needs to be able to hold a Big Mac in order to be able to guy I can trust
hold
with the
a game
franchise.
controller.
All right.
He's one of them game controller guys.
I'm worried about this whole Murray thing. All right.
I'm not.
I mean, you see flashes, but then in spots where they're supposed to play well and play consistent, I'm just not getting the consistency week after week. So at home against the Chargers defense is no joke. I think they're going to give that team fits today defensively. I don't see a lot of points in this game. The total's 44.5. I'm surprised.
Take the under.
Chargers are a 2-point favorite on the road. I mean, Dobbins has been playing really well. He's been more involved lately. Since Edwards has gone down. Harrison Jr. should be playing today. That's going to help Arizona. It's going to help them spread the ball a little bit more.
Is it going to help with the over?
Well, I still like the Chargers today in a very, very close game on the road, but I'm going to lay the 2 points and take the Chargers.
All right.
Broom it.
Broom.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, this is going to be the start for the Chargers.
Wait, before we go, Jim Harbaugh, by the way, his abrupt absence last week, they are calling it
AFib.
AFib, yeah, a little AFib attack,
A little flutter.
A little flutter. I'm still saying he had diarrhea. He had to poop.
Yeah, he could have been a bad hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that eats hot dogs too. He's
it.
one of those guys that eats like everything. So
He's
hey, who better than us?
Late news here in the injury report,
Uh-oh.
and this hurts for me. Kenneth Walker, Seattle.
Oh,
Got a boo-boo in his belly. Game time call.
oh,
Yeah.
another one with agita.
Yeah, boom, boom, belly.
Boom, 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 belly.
Boom, boom, belly. No
Now,
good.
wait, now we have to come up with the various euphemisms. All right, so what else besides boom boom belly? What do we got? We got the squirts. We got the
Pants rocket.
the trots.
Yeah.
Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah,
Don't drink the water.
He's got a few things going on there.
He's got a lot going on. Bubble guts.
Bubble guts.
Bubble guts.
But in a quick read, it looks like that they did not promote anybody from the practice squad to fill his roster. So at least that's a good sign.
Well, and naturally, because I carried Charbonnet. By the way, I did use him the one time that he was effective against the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
Had his best game of the year. And then I carried him for 2 more weeks, and he did absolutely ungats because Walker came back.
Mm-hmm.
So now, of course, I cut him last week, and now Walker ate a bad hot dog.
I'm going to text him real quick,
Yep.
Mr. Walker, and let him know
Yep.
this stuff called Pepto-Bismol.
Bubble guts.
They can take that. It'll help. Trust me.
Kaopectate.
Get on the field.
Drink a little ginger ale.
I saved. Did we talk about the Steeler game yet?
Not yet.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Fine.
I insist.
The Jets are playing
Go
my
Steelers.
Steelers tomorrow.
Go
Tonight.
Steelers.
Tonight. Yeah, go Steelers.
Yay, Steelers.
The two stories in this game, obviously, are the Adams trade and Wilson as the starter.
Wilson!
I'll cover the Wilson part. You can cover the Adams part. All right. Russell Wilson's going to start for the Steelers. Justin Fields, not a good quarterback. Now, let me preface, because if Mike was with us right now, he'd be angry. When I say not a good quarterback, I'm going on the NFL side of things. I'm not looking at it through a fantasy lens now, because now I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Okay, now this is Pittsburgh Steeler fan talking, not fantasy sports host. Russell Wilson, I feel, gives us a slightly better chance to win. And that's going on the if come, because I have not seen Russell Wilson in a Steeler uniform throw a football yet. So I don't know truly what to expect. I can say that he is a better passer. I can say that he throws a better deep ball. I can say that our offense, even though from a rushing perspective, is different because Fields gives you that element that he can obviously be a dual threat. The problem is that you can't be a dual threat if you're not good at one of the dual things. So he wasn't necessarily a dual threat. He was a last resort run option when you're not using the middle of the field to complete passes. That being said, I like the Steelers in this spot. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding the trade with Devontae Adams. I think there's been a lot of hype surrounding the Jets. And also, too, just like we want the Jets to be all this year, and we talked about this, they were favored in 13 of the games preseason coming in. DraftKings Sportsbook had the Jets favored 13 times this year. How's that working out so far? Okay, they're favored again tonight in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 2-point home dog. Now, I have zero confidence in the coaching ability of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is going to come down to the defense making plays, making enough plays, Russell Wilson not turning the ball over, and two teams that really don't truly have an identity, in my opinion. I don't know. First team to score 14 wins. All right, let's just call it at that. Forget the spread and the totals and everything like that. Whoever scores the first 2 touchdowns, that's it. It's over. Give me the Steelers at home as a home dog, not as a homer, because I am not a homer, as you all know, but as a home dog. I'll take the Steelers in the points, -2.
That crowd
Plus
in
2.
Pittsburgh
Sorry.
is going to be on fire.
In fuego.
Okay, on fire. That defense in Pittsburgh is going to be hot after cutting the head off the dragon, the head of the dragon being Aaron Rodgers. They know once they cut the head off, then the dragon dies, period. So, I mean, sure, hey, here.
Yes,
I'm
we love it.
definitely with you. But I think the point total is going to be a little higher. At 14, I think that's a nice 14-17. That's going to be about all that the Jets are going to score. But I say that Russell Wilson is going to inspire 24, 27 points. So give me the mid-20s. What's the over-under again?
7.
Yeah, take the over.
7.
Yeah, take the over. Yeah, I see raucous crowd. I see hardcore defense. I see Pittsburgh winning, going away. I do. I just do. 4 points, maybe 6 points. Look, give me 20. Give me 24-16, 24-17.
Okay, we'll take it.
So there you go.
Steelers, for the record, are 4th overall in primetime games. They're sitting at a .587 win percentage in primetime games. And that's considering they're 11-11 on Thursday night. This is clearly not a Thursday night game. So their winning percentage in these big games, Sunday night, Monday night games, is even bigger than that.
All right, then.
But that being said, it is the Steelers, and it is Tomlin's team.
Well, let me. Okay, so listen. The reason why they grabbed both Fields and Wilson is because Arthur Smith works well with quarterbacks. Okay, he's already worked his magic with a couple of quarterbacks. He got all he could get out of Desmond Ridder. Let's face facts. He got all he when he was in Atlanta. They didn't give him a quarterback. They really didn't. The kid that's backing up out in San Francisco. He had him and he had Desmond Ridder, and they were terrible. Okay, he couldn't even fix Marcus Mariota. So that didn't work.
I like to call him Mariota.
Mariota, whatever.
Just saying.
Yeah, but if you look at Arthur Smith's track record, he fixed Ryan Tannehill. Can't beat that.
Okay, well, he didn't fix Fields. He sucks.
He fixed Fields.
And actually, you know what? Let's be fair. We got the most out of him. I think he only had 2 turnovers to this point.
And I'm telling you, he is going to get. I think we're going to see some classic Russ here. I think he is going to get the best out of Russell. He takes the strength of the quarterback, and he just beats it to death. He doesn't try to do anything outside of the comfort zone of the quarterback. Okay, the quarterback throws the routes that he's most comfortable with. He runs the plays that he is most comfortable with. And that's it. He doesn't try anything fancy. It's all a variation on that theme. What's good for you? Mm-hmm. For years, we saw Ryan Tannehill, all he threw were seam routes and deep balls. Seam routes and deep balls and dump offs to the tight ends and the running backs. And then turn around and hand that ball off to Derrick Henry. And that's all he had to do. And they won a shit ton of games. They went to the AFC Championship game, I believe, once, right? Or twice. Yeah. Okay, they qualified for the playoffs 5 out of the 7 years that he was there. He didn't do shit for the Dolphins. They went to the playoffs once when he was with the Dolphins. Of course, the Dolphins never gave him an offensive line, but that's besides the point. I'm not bitter. So there, I believe in Arthur Smith being able to get the most out of Russell Wilson. I think that you're going to see a little more than I hope you are pleasantly surprised.
We'll see.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll come back with your core 4, and then we'll get to work on our crap.
Hell yeah.
Okay. going to sit there and wait for it. I'm not. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Core 4.
Yeah. We got some of those.
Devin Achan, Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson. Okay, go ahead.
Gross.
Gross.
Let's see. We got some core 4. Obviously, we do this every week.
Obviously.
We push and we push and we push and we look for matchups that are in the pluses. We want good environments. We want lots of scoring. We want opportunities. So let's get some of that. Got me some Sam Darnold today. We talked about Detroit. Now, last week, Mr. Dak Prescott going against this same Detroit back end let me down big time. All right, I was all over him last week.
Let you down. He's the reason why I took my first loss. The only reason.
Minus Hutchinson today, we talked about on Detroit's side. Same porous secondary.
Fucking bum.
Jefferson's career numbers against the Lions. Have you seen those numbers?
Gaudy.
He averages like 120-something yards a game against them. His receiving prop is 91.5 yards today. Click the over. Yeah. I had that combination today. I've got the Darnold-Jefferson combination today.
Stack it up.
You're paying up for Jefferson, but you get a little bit of a break on Darnold.
So you're stacking half your core 4.
So you can absorb that. I'm going with the combination here. I think Darnold certainly has a big day, and I do think that Jefferson finds pay dirt. I like a little Chase Brown today. We talked about it. Cleveland's the inferior team here. Brown's usage has been going up consistently. I just think he has a really big play against the Browns today. Maybe he catches one in the backfield for a good gain or just breaks one. So I really like him today. Modestly priced, $5,900. He's like top 15, I think, in terms of pricing. So you can certainly afford him. And here's a little bit of a sleeper today because you got to save some money. You got to look for guys where you can actually pay down so that you can afford to get some of the top guys. Give me a little bit of Noah Brown today for Washington.
Oh God.
Okay.
Another one on Noah Brown.
Now, we are looking at a game total that's very high, 49, I think it was. We do agree that Carolina's defense is terrible and that Daniels is going to be throwing the football. So, last week, let's take a look at a glance. Mr. Noah Brown, 8 targets last week, okay? Caught 4 of them, 58 yards, pretty modest, but he's only $4,000. It's very, very cheap on DK. If this guy happens to get into the end zone today with that 4 for 58, boom. That's a home run.
All right.
Because I put a baseball term in my football. And congrats to the Yankees on advancing to the World Series.
Start spreading the news.
Whatever. Hey, you know what? You know who that's good for? The Yankees going to the World Series?
What?
The Jets. Because it's a distraction for at least the next 2 weeks.
Nobody will be paying attention for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, at least it'll give those fans something to do. So
okay. Here we go. Core 4. Okay. First of all, you're talking about cheap guys. You're talking about guys that have low usage rates. Let me take you to a guy, Mr. Minnesota Stack, that has been very quiet since coming back from injury, Mr. Jordan Addison. I think Addison eats today. I think Addison finds the end zone today. I think Addison cracks 80 yards today because they're going to shift everything over to Jefferson's side of the field. If Jefferson goes in motion, which they're going to use Jefferson's motion to get the defense to move her and give away what they're going to do. And what are you going to see? Little Mr. Addison catching the ball over the middle. Little Miss Ass catching seam routes. So give me Jordan Addison. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be real cheap. Another cheap wide receiver. Okay, as much as I hate to go with these losers. Yeah. But it is now his time as the WR1 in Cleveland, Jerry Jeudy. Finally they're gonna force the ball to him. He's cheap. He's got to be like what, $4,600?
$4,800.
$4,800.
Yuck.
Cheap. Watch.
Don't forget a little bit of a
Cincinnati's DBs suck.
Psst.
What?
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I don't care.
Elijah Moore.
I had a pizza delivery guy's bigger than Elijah Moore.
He's a baller.
He's a midget.
He's a baller.
Give me Jeudy.
Okay.
Long ball.
Love
Boom.
it.
Okay, chicks dig the long ball. Then give me Devon Achan against that horrible Indianapolis defense.
Had to be a Dolphin in there.
Well-rested Devon Achan. We're talking about 4 or 5 catches. We're talking about 12, 13 carries. Finds the end zone. Bing, bang, boom. Give me some Achan. How about that? And then let's go out to L.A. and give me Mr. Brock
Love it.
Bowers.
32 catches against that
32
porous
catches
zone.
against all of them. Just all of them in the same game.
Love it.
Yeah, so there you go. There's my core four.
I like it. I like it a
Two
lot.
cheap-ass wide receivers,
Yeah.
a typical Dolphin, and Brock Bowers.
Give me some Brock.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Then we're out this.
There's a hurricane out there.
There's a couple of them, but they're not coming here. They're not coming anywhere near us.
No. One is heading just east of the Bahamas and then
Yeah.
out to somewhere.
Yeah.
You're in trouble if you're on a boat called the Minnow. Just hang on for dear life. We'll find you. in a few years.
You're in trouble if you're in the south of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, that too.
That's going to be a
down there too.
flooding tropical storm. Is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
FEMA's going to be like, we don't have to go down there.
Well,
We're already
South
busy."
Florida got lucky again this year for hurricane season, I would say.
Yeah.
There's a chance we may be in the mix again. There's a few more weeks left in the season.
Why you want to jinx it?
I don't feel it.
Why you jinx it?
We got past it. Florida got whacked.
I
this
have
year.
the magic can of ravioli right over there. It's literally like 5 feet away. Okay, which the magic can of Chef Boyardee beef ravioli has managed to
Avert.
ward off and avert Category 5 hurricanes.
Especially since you bought that ravioli in 2004.
Well, no, the 2004 hurricane, the hurricane, how can I say, repelling can of ravioli, that got lost in the move. Okay, now that was so dangerously out of date, if somebody were to accidentally eat it, they would probably hallucinate and die. But now the new version, which is still technically edible until 2026,
Yeah.
well, there you go. We're not going to get hit by any hurricanes.
We're good.
When I bought that thing, Hurricane Helene was a Category 5, and she went far away. Okay, when I whipped that thing out on what was this dumbass hurricane? Milton. By the way, I scared Milton away with a stapler. Milton went Category 5, and then suddenly went Category 2, and then suddenly I had friends and family in Lakeland that are like, "There's a hurricane. It's a little windy outside."
Yeah, that was a tornado storm.
That was a tornado storm. That was nuts.
The
Trust me.
outbreak was insanity.
Yeah, I know.
I've never
Totally.
seen that.
And we'll talk
before.
about 100 tornadoes in St. Lucie County. How about that?
3 F3s
Bananas. Yeah.
that they recorded
Bananas.
when the state had one prior south of Orlando in its history.
Right.
And this hurricane produced 3 of
Well,
them.
now to wrap things up, now we've done weather. Now we're going to do the alien report. There's still alien drones and ships.
Langley.
And,
Oh, my gosh.
over Langley.
Oh, what are we
I'm
doing?
telling you,
What
a
are we
deal
doing?
has been made.
What are we doing?
Okay, the deal's been made. The lizard people are taking over.
Oh, no.
It's over.
Oh, no.
Get your aluminum foil hats. Is that it?
Do they like football?
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so. Bread and circuses, man. Keep us distracted. All right, well, on behalf of myself and the Mess, thank you so very much for watching today. It was a little bit of a silly technical glitch-filled beginning, but I'm glad we made it through. We'll be here next week. You're going to be coming running in at last minute and jumping in front of the camera.
Assuming the flights go, I land at 9:30.
Oh, my God.
So
Oh, my God.
Uber,
I might be here alone
10,
for the first half hour.
11, boom.
Maybe I'll get, you know what I'll do? I'll go get the guru.
We're good.
I'll sit him right across from us. We'll stall till you get here.
We're good. I'll be running.
Do all your work on the plane.
Jesse, we love you, buddy. That's one of the things I wanted to throw out
Love
there,
you,
too.
miss you,
We talked
definitely.
about it, buddy. So,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same without him. All right. Well, on behalf of myself and Mr. Matthew Masaracchio and the crowd of dozens, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week, 11 a.m. on Sunday, here on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. Peace.